Hi, my name is Leilani. I am a former public and private school teacher. I am homeschool evaluator in the state of Florida, and I homeschool my 4 beautiful kids, including my youngest who has Down syndrome. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you some ideas to help you with journaling, planning for those kiddos who have ADHD, special needs, Down syndrome, autism, or maybe they're just in middle school and they need some direction. I am experienced with ADHD. I've worked with kids very closely, and I myself have ADHD. So not only do I get that experience, but this experience of being frustrated with trying to figure out how I can plan things without losing my mind. But right now, I'm gonna focus in on those kiddos that need some direction. Okay, we can't just hand them a planner and say, go. I'm also going to talk a little bit about bullet journaling because we've been there, done that. We tried it, and I'm going to talk about the benefits of it. I'm going to also talk about why it may or may not be good for you. So to start off, those kiddos that have ADHD, they really struggle with planning and structure. They don't want that planning and structure because their brains don't necessarily work that way. They're very creative, very abstract. If you have that kid that has just papers stashed with things written on them all over the house, like in their dresser drawer, in little crease between the wall and the bed, any of you guys find that? Under the sheets of the bed, like by their feet, little wads of note papers. You get the point. It's all over the place, right? We want to find a way to kind of bring that together so it's all in one place, and also we want to help make sure they don't lose it, because that's another thing that they are going to be struggling with. So the first thing you want to do is find some area of their life where they need to focus on. A lot of planners today have, the calendar, notes, to-do list, addresses, food planning, laundry, chores, and it just goes on and on and on and on. Well, for someone who has ADHD, they look at that and they go, wow, that looks so cool. I'm gonna be so organized, blah, blah, blah. No, because it overwhelms them and they can't keep track of things, and the planner just either gets thrown away or just remains blank as a dream that one day they may do something with it. So what you want to do is focus on one area in their lives where they need the most structure. And for us, that just so happens to be their schooling. I think for many of us, that's a really good place to start. So what I did for my son is I created a printable right here. Simple. There's no designs and art and swirls. If they want to add those things, they can totally add those things. So I just put a title, lesson plan, weekly calendar, and all of it is just right here. And he is only focused on schoolwork. We're not gonna write in all those extracurricular activities. You're not gonna write in phone numbers, shoe sizes. So I divided it Monday through Friday, right? And then the subjects that I know that we are working on for him. Now I did color code them so that he is aware. These top ones are every single day type things. The black is interchangeable. He doesn't do them every day. He may do them 3 days a week, 2 days a week. The yellow has to do with co-op. Even though he may do these class assignments every day, they're yellow, they're co-op. Green is Bible because my husband is actually the one that really focuses in on that. I kept the spaces small on purpose because I just want them to be simple. So math, for example, teaching textbooks lesson 49, just to throw one out there, he's gonna write L49, L50, L51, L52, L53. Okay, that's simple, done. Same with piano. Maybe there's a song he's working on. He wants to write the name of the song down. Maybe he'll work on measures 1 through 10. I do give him the assignments that he has to complete written on the board, but he's going to be the one writing in his interpretation of those assignments. Now it's really important that they are writing the stuff down, because when you're writing stuff down, it's memory encoding. It's going to help him remember to do them and also help him to organize it in a way that he knows how to get it done. On the back of these sheets, because I did 2 pages, This one I got a little bit more creative. You don't always want to get too creative with it because it could be distracting. The first part says, this week I want to have time to do what? 3 things that I want to do in my free time this week. Now, I went ahead and told them that they can go ahead and put down electronics this week, but they have to have some kind of goal. So for example, my son is working on a Roblox game that he's actually designing, and maybe he wants to get this far in designing the game. That can be something that he wants time to do. Or another one is art projects. They want to paint something. Now, some of you could say, well, that's school, that's school. No, I mean, it is school, but it's also one of their projects that they want to do. Anyway, you can design this however you want. Pick out what you want your core subjects to be, and let them pick out the 3 things that they want to do. Now, one of the things I added in my book, they need to write down the book that they're reading, and they need to be reading it. So then the last one says, chores I need to get done this week. And I put that there. Whether or not he fills it out, it's not that big of a deal, but he may realize that he needs to clean his dresser drawers. He needs to make sure all of his laundry is off the floor, or he needs to do some, hanging. Like, how they just sometimes leave clothes at the bottom of the closet? They need to go through and hang those. So this is super duper simple. Now here's the thing, okay? I made it so that it's 2 pages. That's it. And I also made it so this lasts for a month. That's it. A month. You know why? Because I'm going to find out if it works for him or if it doesn't work for him. And if it works for him, I might do the same thing the following month. If it doesn't work for him, maybe I'll cut some things out or change things around just to kind of meet his needs. I want him to be able to complete this without being overwhelming. I want him to utilize this without feeling stressed out. Now, it is an assignment. I'm going to make sure that it's complete and that it's accurate. Now, if he's doing really well with it, I'm gonna start adding things to it. Like maybe a chore chart. Maybe I'll throw a chore chart in there. Maybe I'll make more subcategories with this, but only after he has established a routine with using the simple stuff first. It's flexible, and it's good to create your own little sheet. Keep it simple. I did it up on Canva. If you want a copy of this, let me know in the description box below. Let me see if I could throw one up in the website, so you can maybe, tailor it to meet your needs. Now, the fun thing about this is that you can turn this into a bullet journal. Now, if you don't know what a bullet journal is, it's super fun. I showed you how we did one with one of my kids. I think I even show you how I make my bullet journal. But they're really fun. They're for all people, whether you have autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, or not, or if you're a gifted student. They're for everyone. They're for the creative mind that wants to create their own journal so they can, keep a table of contents and, so they can find what they need to find and just have a book of just dreams and planning. And it's really cool. You design it as you go, so to speak. And you can actually turn this into a bullet journal by just adding extra pages along with it. Because a bullet journal, that's pretty much what it is. It's just extra notebook pages that you add to it. But you've got to keep a table of contents with a bullet journal or it's not going to work as well as you would want it to work. But because this is so flexible, you can turn this into a bullet journal if you want to take it in that direction. But you don't have to. I am really big on finding ways to create journals that meet your needs. There are a lot of amazing journals out there. But with kids in middle school, kids that have special needs, they need something much more simpler. Maybe you have a planner in mind that you really, really like and you want to use with your kids. Well, you can start with something simple like that and then slowly build to match that journal. There are also journals out there that you can print off, and you can maybe just print off the pages, the simple pages to use for your kids. One of those journals that I can think of is Plan Prep Pray. She has one. I'll put a link in the description box below, but they have a student journal and you can print the pages that you want at that time. Start simple, do like 2 pages, work with them weekly, and then maybe add a 3rd page after a couple months, and then just start to build from there till eventually when they're older, they're using the full planner because that's how they plan. There's lots of different options and directions that you could go, but the biggest takeaway from all of this is start simple and focus on one area in their life that they need the most help with, and be consistent with it. Make it part of their school day. Try not to make it overwhelming for them, because then they won't do it, but you also want to make it fun so that they will do it. So those are the biggest tips I have, and of course we're going to be doing that this year. I'm really excited because I really want, especially my middle schooler, to take ownership in his academics and his life in general, because one day he's gonna be doing it by himself, and I want to create that independence. Well, not me create, but I want to see him create that independence within himself. So hope that helps, give you some good ideas, and until then, I'm gonna stick some videos from my face, including that bullet journal for ADHD, and until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Super quick, I did want to show you the bullet journal that I kind of made for myself. Now, like I said, bullet journals are really, really simple, and you can see I didn't even bother putting a cover sheet on it. But what I did do is I do have a lot of things in the pockets, but I put little tabbies here, and I do have a 3-ring binder, and the 3-ring binder is so I can move things around. Bullet journals didn't work for me because it had a title page, and then you just dump around the journal. No, I want mine grouped and categorized into sections, and I want to be able to move it around. So if I wrote something about, you know, homeschool specific, I want all my homeschool notes together. If I wanted to write something about YouTube, right, I want all my YouTube stuff together. So I have little tabbies here. I still have not decided what to do with the first one yet, but it has to be something important in my life. And then extras are things like addresses, but in each of these, I put the date at the top, and then I write all my notes in there. I'm not really gonna show you too much because it does get kind of personal, but if that gives you an idea of how I kind of organize my journal, then great. Also, I do put it in a 3-ring binder, not only because I can move things around, but because I'm left-handed, and some of those spirals, right, when I'm writing, my hand is like bumping into it. So with this, I can at least take the paper out, write on it, and then stick it back in, which that's like my pet peeve, being left-handed. It really is, but people don't realize it because not everybody's left-handed. So another thing you could do is do the spirals on top. If you have a spiral machine, maybe you could do the spirals on top so you're flipping it that way, or you could even do it on the opposite side, but that could get a little confusing. I am the queen of empty planners. I write my plans everywhere, in Post-it notes, scrap paper, backs of envelopes, journals that I lose, notebooks that I lose. I have about 20 notebooks probably floating around in this house right now with plans from like years ago. It's just confession.